All right, let's get things fired back up. And let's see here. Let me grab my glove, and we'll grab the paper towel and the Windex. And it is that time of year, so I have a bowl of candy corn, because that's always nice to have around. Probably won't be eating any on stream. It's kind of obnoxious to try and eat candy while talking on a stream, so I'm not going to do that to you. Although, those of you that are watching right now are not actually on the stream because I haven't started it on my Discord yet. I'm just going to go through here, and I am going to wipe down my screen. And I feel like I really need to change my ritual around the stream. And let me go ahead and get things fired up so that things will actually be streaming. Those of you watching on YouTube, obviously, and do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe. Let me move this out of the way here. Let me just move stuff around. Things are a mess. Things have been a mess because my UPS decided to shit the bed, and I'm not sure what's wrong with it. So I currently don't have a battery backup, and that is driving me nuts with paranoia because, there could be a power failure at any time, and I could lose all of my work. And then it would be like 15 seconds before the generator came on, and I'd be able to turn my computer back on and see what was going on. And the frustrating thing is that I'm all paranoid about this, and I'm all upset about it. And I lived like that for literal decades. I mean, I was 50 years old before I got a UPS for my machine. So it's only been the past couple of years that I've had it. And yet it's essential, the peace of mind that comes with knowing if the power goes off, nothing happens to my work. And yeah, so that's always very nice to have. But I don't have that right now. And the reason I don't have that is I need an extension cord. That's it. I need an extension cord. It's about 20 feet long to get my because it turns out that the outlet over here has faulty wiring. And I don't know what the problem is, and I don't know how to fix it. And it's probably somewhere in the wall, and I don't want to tear the wall out. So that's where things are. But anyway, let's see. Have we got... I am not sharing my screen yet. So let me go ahead and pull that up. And come on. Come on. Where is it? There it is. All right. So we've got that fired up. And with that, with das, I can begin actually working on the gort. So first, what I want to do is I want to start working on cleaning up this area. And while I'm doing this, I'll just kind of rant about stuff. So the thing that I've been thinking about doing is altering my ritual, because at present I have this ritual where I eat ramen and I drink a big glass of milk, and that's how I get ready to do the stream. But that's too much of a ritual. It's too stable. It's too static. So I have been meaning to get a simpler and easier ritual that that I can use multiple times a week without feeling like I'm eating ramen all the fucking time. So, so I've been trying to come up with something, and I have been thinking maybe what I want to do is a sort of getting ready to draw ritual. And one of the things that occurred to me was I could use cleaning my screen as part of that. Okay, that looks good. Okay. Yeah. There we are. That looks about right. And let's come in here and do some erasing here because we want a cleaner. A cleaner. I think we want that less obtrusive, don't we? But yeah, I was thinking maybe cleaning my screen is a good ritual to have. That may be a good way to do that. Let's have I got what we have here? Redraw vector line. Let's try that right there. There, that actually works pretty well. Not very comfortable with all of these tools, but I am getting there bit by bit. There we go. That looks good. Now let's go to redraw vector line again, and we'll scoot this around. Then we can get that little bit out right there. There. That's looking better. There we are. That looks pretty good. Now we can erase. That and that little bit there, and that little bit that little bit there. Okay. And we want to do some redrawing here, actually. So let's pull that. And go brush. I'll come from about up there, about to down here. And that looks about right. That can go there. Let's redraw There. I will erase that. Look at how fantastic that is. It's a wonderful tool. Wonderful, wonderful tool. And this... I've been less than happy with this because it's too pronounced. Needs to be narrower. Like so, which means we need to round off that top there. There we are. Now we'll pull that. We'll come in here and clean that. Just the part I touched, just right there. Just right there. Just that right there. There we go. Okay. They're already doing much better on this. Okay. Start getting somewhere with that. Now, I want to jump into the color and start clearing up. So, that means a larger brush. So brush, large. And we just want to kind of carve this space away here. I don't have to be too concerned because I can fill it back in later. So as I mentioned on Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter, which I don't know where you people come from or why you're interested in watching some dumb 50-something guy draw shit. But as I was mentioning on Twitter, I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077 this week. And because I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077 this week, I've been very frustrated and annoyed at various things. Because this game is a fucking train wreck. And the biggest issue that I see with it is, looking at it as a software developer, I kind of see it a little differently than the way that a lot of gamers are seeing it. Because what's going on here is that the game hasn't been badly designed or badly engineered. It's been badly managed and doesn't appear to have been meaningfully tested at all. Which is kind of a problem, because if you don't manage your software development, then your software comes out being garbage, which is kind of what happened with Cyberpunk. And they've gone through and fixed out a lot of stuff, but essentially what they've done is used the community as the QA department. But the community is a shitty QA department. Because one of the things that I talk about reasonably often in the context of testing and improving and managing things, man. Okay, there we go. That works. Then we'll pull that little bit and that little bit. Ooh, not that little bit, and that bit's important. There we go. So here we have that. We've got the outer outline. It's kind of looking better. So let's go back to our brush and our color layer. So the thing about problems in software is you can divide problems in software into 4 different categories. You have the ones that are hard to fix and easy to work around, hard to fix and hard to work around, easy to fix and hard to work around, or easy to fix and easy to work around. Everything easy to fix tends to get fixed, because whenever you're sitting there going, what are we going to fix? The first thing everybody wants to do is all of the stuff that's easy, right? But when it comes to stuff that's hard to fix, the stuff that's hard to fix only gets fixed if it's hard to work around. Because if it's easy to work around it, well, why should you waste developer time on that when you can instead waste the time of millions of gamers who don't get paid what developers do? So that's a mismanagement there. It's a mismanagement of how you think about developers and how you think about players, or users for that matter. It doesn't have to be players. The same principles apply to all software development. It's one of the things I hate about GIMP, which is it has the capabilities that graphics software needs, but they're not arranged in a way that they're easy to use. So if you're willing to mold yourself to the needs of the software, which a lot of users and developers are, then the software will do the job. All you have to do is just resign yourself to doing the job the way the software wants you to do the job. The problem is that software shouldn't be telling you how to do your job. It should work the way that you want it to work. You should be able to configure it to work the way that you want it to work. And when you can't, that's a problem. That's a very significant problem. And GIMP in particular doesn't work the way that graphic designers typically work. And I've done a lot of work with graphic designers, although I am not myself much of a graphic designer. I have some training and some skill in that regard, but not enough to say this is a thing that I do. I've got some design chops, some design skills, but I am not a designer. And it's not the same as when that's like your calling and what you actually do. A lot of people like to think that it is, but it's really not. A lot of people feel like they get some instruction in something. This is something that happens to well, this is a problem. Got my layers all disorganized. I don't think there's anything on the shading layer at the moment, so I can just hit delete. Well, I was working with the eraser anyways. Didn't actually matter. But gamers in particular will get the idea that because they've played a lot of games, they understand how games are designed and how games are supposed to work. And you really don't. I mean, game design is something that I do know well enough to say that I'm essentially a professional at it, because I've worked with a lot of game designers and I've talked to a lot of game designers, and I've designed a great many games, most of which never saw the light of day, because you know, you do a design and you put it together and you see how it works, and sometimes you look at it and go, yeah, no. The world does not need to play this. The world is better off just pretending this game doesn't exist. But game design is a very specific discipline, and it's a discipline that I know pretty well. So the thing is, a lot of people have played a lot of games, and they think, because I've played a lot of games, I know what good game design looks like. But no, you don't. Because here's one of the things that frustrated me about Cyberpunk, is that the design is actually really good. You know, and it's just one of those things where you look at it and you just kind of scratch your head and you go, why does this suck? Why does this game suck if the design makes sense and if the implementation is actually like really good? Then why does the game suck? Why is it so awful? And the basic answer is that they've put systems together, and the systems work, but they've been implemented badly is the wrong word, but it's a combination of mismanagement and bad QA, because you have things like instead of pre-rendering a cutscene for a particular mission, what they'll do instead is they will script the AI, and the scripted AI has a job of moving everybody to where they're supposed to be, and then the cutscene can proceed. The problem is that sometimes the AI can't pathfind appropriately. And because the AI can't pathfind appropriately sometimes, you need to have a failsafe. You need to have a way to step in there and go, okay, something went wrong, let's fix it. And the game really does reliably notice when stuff has gone wrong and fix it. The problem is that it fixes it by doing weird, fucked up shit that, as a developer, you look at and you go, I see exactly what happened there. The pathfinding screwed up and tried to route the actor through a node that it couldn't actually pass through because of the level geometry. So when it couldn't pass through there, it got stuck and was just trying to walk through the obstacle for several seconds. Then the internal logic said, oh, wait a minute, this guy's not getting any closer to his goal, and it reset his pathfinding and animation. So for a moment, the model A poses and then spins around in place while it tries to figure out what its path is, because they don't actually tell it to stop moving. They just take away its path. That's what happens when a model spins in place. When a model just spins in place and isn't going anywhere, it doesn't have a path to the destination. So when it tries to move, it doesn't have a direction. It's just turning, looking for the path. Eventually, it creates the new path, and it goes to the path. And the problem is that this takes 15 to 20 seconds. So you've interrupted the scripted cutscene for 15 to 20 seconds for the model to figure out what the fuck it's doing and get where it's going. And during that 15 or 20 seconds, there's nothing the player can do. They're stuck sitting there looking at this shit because there's no way for them to intervene or interfere because of the situation that they're in. And when you do something like that, it meets all of the technical requirements. Everything that you want in a system like that is there. But in execution, it's garbage. It's an absolute fucking mess. What they do... I don't want to come off as a huge jerk saying what they should have done is this. What I would probably have done is something along the lines of, when you do the pathfinding from this place to that place, instead of starting by pathfinding, I would start by moving the actors and their destinations to known good locations. If you're just a little bit off, then your dynamic pathfinding could get stuck on who knows what. But you could also just store a static path. that you know you can get there, or you can turn off collision detection on the model, so as it's going to its destination, it just passes transparently through any obstacles that are in the way. And there are a couple of ways that you can do that, but I don't want to get too technical on that. I find this sort of thing fascinating. It's always a fun topic for me. But Cyberpunk is full of stuff like that, where it's just the system has been implemented to meet specifications, but it doesn't, strictly speaking, work, because it doesn't actually accomplish the desired goal. And if you're not accomplishing the desired goal, that's when a manager is supposed to step in and go, okay, can we do this or not? And at no point in Cyberpunk's development does anyone appear to have done that. They really don't seem to have stepped in and said, let's take a reality check on this. And we're going to come down here and fill that in. I'm still halfway expecting this software to read my mind, because it does such a good job of figuring out what I want to do and doing it. But that's the real issue with Cyberpunk, is that it hasn't been properly managed. Nobody really oversaw the development in any meaningful sense, and that's shocking to me. But it's also kind of a growing pain that you run into in the transition from a small to a medium business. As a small business becomes a medium business, it can't do the things it did as a small business. It doesn't have the reliable sort of passion in its various engineers that it had to begin with, because they've had to add more engineers. And when you add more engineers, frequently those engineers are, just not as motivated. They're not on board because of what you are going to do, but because of what you have already done. And that's a dangerous thing in the world of software. Because when you have somebody that's on board for what you've already done and not for what you're going to do, then they tend to feel like the work is done and not put quite as much into it. Also, they don't feel like they're going to get credit for the work, because that's a big issue that happens in larger companies. Is you do some work and somebody else takes credit for it, and then they get the bonus, or they get the promotion, or they get called up in front of everybody at the all hands meeting, and they go, "Yeah, Bob did this great work," and you're sitting there in the back going, "Fuck you, Bob! I did that work." Happened to me a lot. And occasionally I got called up and given credit for work somebody else did. And one of the reasons they stopped doing that is probably because I would go, "Oh, I didn't do this work by myself. The whole team helped. And in fact, it was mostly so-and-so who did this." And, I'm just trying to be a decent guy and help out the guy who did the actual work. But the manager giving out the awards just sees it as me being embarrassing. and doesn't want to give me any words anymore. Okay, let's so now that we've kind of improved those eyelashes a bit, let's go back to our color layer and let's put in the whites of her eyes. I think those are important. I thought about putting tears in her eyes, but then I decided that would be too sad. We don't want her to be too sad. Sad Gura makes me sad. I don't want to be sad looking at pictures of Gura. There we go. Hold on. Okay, those are about right. Yeah, that actually works. Okay. I do want to have nicer eyes, obviously. But the big issue with Cyberpunk 2077 is that they've checked off all the features on the list. Okay, all of the things that a game like this has to have are in there, except the stuff that's absolutely not in there. For example, the police chases are just horribly broken. And I don't want to belabor that point. But the issue throughout Cyberpunk is not that they didn't do the job at all, but that they did the job badly, and nobody ever told them they did the job badly. We know how to do these jobs right. We have games that do these things right. I mean, we have an entire game, Need for Speed Most Wanted, that is nothing but car chases with cops. We know what car chases with cops look like, but we don't have any car chases in Cyberpunk at all. Why not? I don't know. I have no idea what they were thinking when they decided not to do car chases with cops. And they're kind of important in any kind of game like this. I mean, the gold standard for any kind of open world, outside the law sort of game is Grand Theft Auto. And they just completely screwed the pooch on so many things that Grand Theft Auto 3 had figured out. And, I can understand that maybe you don't have everything that GTA 5 does, but not to have things that GTA 3 does? Now I'm kind of iffy on whether you even tried. That should be that little bit there should be a kind of dark gray. Need to put the teeth on her hoodie. In black, of course. Now I zoom in on that, and we go to color, and we whiten those teeth. And then we can pull the vector lines out of there that are getting in the way, and There we go. Back to color. Missed one. Oops, bumped into the microphone. There we go. All right. And I think I want to redo this tooth here. I want this tooth be clearly over the edge of the hair there. Okay. So that's in place. And I want there we go. That looks pretty good. And back to color. Clean that up. Back to the eraser and the line art layer and clean up that little bit there. This is a much sloppier drawing to start with than the one that I was doing in the first place. I need to get my my gray eyes in play. And now back to line art layer and back to black because we need little nostrils. And then we need gills. Okay. That's looking pretty good. So, let's use a narrower brush for that. You can barely even see that. That's way too much detail. My eyes are really bothering me tonight. Probably because I've been staring at a screen for a week playing this fucking game. Anyway, I'm gonna kind of call it in for, I'm gonna call it in for the night. And, you know what? I wanna do the eyes. Let me grab that top color of the eyes, and we'll come down here to color. Now we jump to our line art, down to black. And finally, we want to go to white and the watercolor brush, and we're going to do transparent watercolor. And finally, we're going to go back to India ink. We're going to go a little white highlight, little white highlight, more white highlight, more white highlight. Let's see how those eyes are looking there. Ha. Ha. There's definitely something. I kind of like the plaintive look of it. Like she's losing her mind that she doesn't have decent boobas. She's too hydrodynamic. But hydrodynamic is good, Gura. We love that about you. That's wonderful. Anyway, it's only been like 45 minutes into the stream, but my eyes are killing me. So I'm going to beg off of this tonight, and we'll throw this up on Twitter. Let me jump on over there. Kind of obnoxious that this took 45 minutes. Essay quam essay, as literally nobody says that isn't a lawyer. The guard improves. Completion is nigh, like maybe in a month. Yeah. I'm so much fun. Not. Anyway, that's pretty much that. So I'm gonna go ahead and duck out of here and upload everything to YouTube, and again, do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell icon. You definitely leave a comment and tell me what a fucking dork I am for doing this shit. Okay.